Rick, it's great to see you.
Hey, great to see you, Keith. Good morning.
Good morning. The title of this topic is The Importance of Simplicity. Rick, would you kick us off?
Okay, I guess in my practice, simplicity and straightforwardness, some people would call that honesty, but I'm a little leery of the word honesty because honesty incorporates a lot of things that allows for tactical or diplomatic lies. And so I want to stay away from the concept of honesty when I'm dealing with simplicity because I think honesty can be a very complicated kind of topic. But straightforwardness, I think, dovetails beautifully with simplicity. So straightforwardness is the concept that you don't overcomplicate and overthink things. I have a tendency to do that. I'm in a business that requires a lot of analysis and a lot of um, avoidance of potential harm. And that's pretty much what humans do anyway. But in my business, it's especially important to be able to figure out what bad things might happen and how to avoid them. But when we get caught up in that complexity, we abandon the simplicity, and sometimes we abandon the truth of the actual circumstance that we're trying to analyze. If we're making so much out of it that all you can see are these complicated spaghetti threads and you can't see the bowl of spaghetti,
Yeah.
that's a problem. That can get in the way. So I guess what I'm saying is that I think simplicity is something that we ignore. We often mistrust the idea that things present the way they present and there's nothing more to them than that. And many times I find myself suffering when I'm trying to impute a motive or I'm trying to impute, some reason about why it happened in a certain way, instead of just simply letting it be, letting go of the attachment I have to the interpretation that I think might work, and just not judge it. So my practice has become over the years this idea that if it's simple, it's easy to understand. And instead of trying to make it more complicated by ascribing motives and values and things that may not exist, why not just leave it sit on the table until there's another piece of information that comes along that you have to consider? So in my personal life, not my professional life, but in my personal life, I'm very, very careful not to overcomplicate things. And I suffer so much less. I don't have to worry so much about figuring out whether somebody likes me or they were spiting me or any of that crap. I think that's just a dead end. So anyway, simplicity to me is the way to go. It's simplicity, straightforwardness. Uh, it eliminates so much of my personal suffering that I had in my younger days.
Rick, I completely agree with you about that. I think about some of the, you know, experiences in life that people have and that I've had. The suffering has been when I have really been ruminating over something when it's much simpler than that.
Good word, ruminating. That's a great word, Keith.
Yeah, a lot of that. I know people that one of my close friends is buying a washer and dryer, and she's been, she has made the choice to buy one over a month ago, needing it like now because it's leaking in her house, and she's still like deciding. I'm like, what are we doing here? I mean, like it's a washer and dryer. I mean, how many reviews can you read? And she did the homework. I have a cousin back in Tennessee who works for a home warranty place, and he is fantastic at telling you what products to buy and whatnot. So I got him on the line, and we did a conference call, and he told her, and I mean, I'm like, you got an expert here. He knows what is sent back for repair and which brands that's not the case that he would buy. And she still took another 3 days ruminating. I'm like, what are we doing? And
Yeah.
so that's an example of he made it simpler for her, and she
Hmm.
still ruminated. Some people can make a car buying experience this whole big deal, and it doesn't have to be. Or traveling somewhere. I'm gonna tell you something that you do and make simple. Your travel. You're like, okay, I got my wallet, my passport, my credit card. Let's go. I'm like, Rick,
That's
where's your suitcase? I got a backpack. I'm out. And that is just such a fantastic way to live. And I've applied it, and I'm aware of when I'm making something more complicated. And I think that's the beauty of having a practice, whether it's mindfulness or whether it's, Zen or Buddhism or what we do with our practice, is that it can help you be aware of when you're doing those things which are causing you suffering. When I went back to school a few years ago, I remember like overcomplicating like the assignment, and like, dude, just read the assignment and do the assignment. We don't have to do all this. Or if I got a grade that I thought that no, they didn't grade this properly. And it's the difference between making a 98 on the test and 99, and I'm all caught up in fits, oversimplifying it. But thankfully I called Pete, and Pete was like, dude, it's the first test of the semester in this class. Let it go. You'll still get an A. Or you can call the professor and go around, and then you'll be on his list of people that are difficult to work with. Which one do you want? So I learned to like keep things very, very simple. Someone doesn't like me, I don't have to spend, 3 weeks thinking about what did I say? What did they do? Why don't they like me? I don't get this. I don't like them now. No, they don't like me. That's their path. My heart is still open to them. Simple. Like keep it all simple. Something doesn't go your way. I'm not spending the next few years upset about it. I'm letting it go. What can I control? So I completely agree, Rick, that the importance of simplicity, if you can get that, if you can live it, you're setting yourself up for a peaceful life. But if you can't get that, okay, that's one way to live.
That's one way to live.
That's one way to live. I'm not doing it. Rick, you want to close this out with any thoughts?
Oh, Keith, I think that's just a great set of ideas to give people. And I guess the last thing I would say is that you really what you're focusing on is the ending of your own suffering. And whatever simplicity does, I think it does best by helping us realize that things don't have to be as complicated. The more complicated they are, the more I think it is difficult for us to let go of whatever the circumstance is. And letting go is a key to happiness. Um, Obviously, we talk about this all the time. The idea is you just don't let things happen in your life. That's not what we're arguing. What we're arguing for is an inner peace that's based on the knowledge of letting go of those things that you cannot change in a way that you want them to change. And to realize that the cause of what your inner suffering is you wanting it to be a certain way.
Yeah,
So wanting it to be a certain way is wonderful. It's a great motivator, but it's also the flip side is you suffer when it doesn't happen.
exactly.
So it's, everything in life is, it's an art, right? Living life is an art. It's not a science, and everybody is run by their past and they're worried about their future and they have all these relationships and the spider web of complication. Holy cow. Why not just relax, go inside, be the person you want to be, and let it go.
Work on that. Absolutely. I'll end with this. There's a group at Mayo Clinic that I'm working with, and they've made things really complicated. And they created this survey, they sent it out to all the staff. I suggested a tool that they might use that was validated. They went off and pulled things and created their own tool. I suggested that we pause until and let leadership know what we're up to so that you have their support. They saw leadership as being a barrier. I'm like, I've talked to leadership, they won't be a barrier. No one likes to be blindsided. Nope, it's got to do it now. Okay. I've seen this movie before because I've lived it. I was a star in that movie. I've seen how this ends. It doesn't end well, Rick.
Oh, I've been there too, brother.
It
Yep.
doesn't end well. So I had a meeting with the physician yesterday. He said, Keith, I first want to apologize to you for not taking your advice. Oh, really? It's not my advice. This is the practice advice. I've just lived it. And he's like, we could have done this differently. Last week was a hard week for me. I wonder why. I wonder why it was a hard week. guys, I mean, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Like, and if the leaders say no, we don't want you to send out the survey. Practice acceptance. It's all good. Like, come on. But there's a lot of suffering that was caused by this rush to complicate things. You think you're solving a problem, but you're really making it worse. And there's a different way. And my what I suggested to them is like, as a committee, why don't we work on ourselves first, and then we'll be much better equipped to deal with the challenges that are out there. And a significant number of the challenges will actually disappear.
So true. So
Significant
true.
number will not be a problem
That's right.
if you just consider this. But we should be the example that when people interact with us, they're like, man, if there was somebody that was going to work on the culture of this department, that's the group I wish it was. That's the group that's equipped for this,
Mhm.
right? You know, I mean, you don't want to go and buy a car from a company that all they do is put out junk. You want to go to a car like, oh my God, the quality reviews this company had. That's who you want. They're living it. They're demonstrating it with every car that rolls off the assembly line. The same thing as a human being. You want somebody working on the challenges that has worked on themselves. That's who you want. So I'll end there, Rick. I love the topic, the importance of simplicity. Perfect.
I do too, Keith. You know, you're my hero, man. You know, people watch this stuff, but they don't realize that the dynamic between the two of us, we kind of feed off of one
We
another.
do.
It's like, it's just like being in a great space with somebody that you like and you feel like you're learning from, and that this is the right connection to have in life. And I feel that with you. And I really love you. I love our experience. I love our buddies. I love our practice. You know, and we're all fallible, and we're all trying our best.
We are. We are. Rick, I love you. Thank you for the
I
show.
love you, Keith. Adios. Take care, man.